everyone, welcome back. I'm going to show you another tip tonight on how I store all of the Seatwork that Abeka provides. So in these filing cabinets I have everything labeled. It's really tight because I've got everything in there right now, but it is just simply by the lesson number. Not so much the day number, but the lesson. For the Abeka curriculum, it goes to 170 lessons. So in this big filing cabinet here, I have these 3 drawers that are broken down into thirds for the curriculum. Now I want to just kind of show you. I already have the first week already pulled, but let me just kind of pull out one here in the middle for this one here. So lesson 17. So I pull that. What I've got in here are all of the packets, and I do teach a first and second grade combo class, so I've got first and second grade materials all together in this folder. At the beginning of the year, the penmanship pages are not put in their packets. They are not Seatwork unless it's a test day, because they are still learning cursive handwriting, and we do cursive in my classroom. So in this I've got simply some, I'll kind of zoom in there a little bit more. This is the very first penmanship test, that's in there. And then you see all of these big thick pages. So here's what I do. In the past I have done 2 days worth at a time. But what I am trying this year is I have done 4 days worth of Seatwork, and I have stapled it thanks to this wonderful tip I saw on Miss Katie in elementary. She talked about how first graders have a very hard time of just flipping pages this way, so having it in the book style really helps them, and it is totally true. So if you can see that it just flips this way, and the kids are much more easily able to find the pages that they need. So in the second grade curriculum, I've got lesson 17, lesson 18, lesson 19, and lesson 20 all together. Their math is in here. Then I have 17, 18, 19, 20 in their phonics and language books. Then after that are simply 2 handwriting blank tablet papers for them, which is where they will write their spelling words for the day. Now, as the year progresses and the penmanship becomes part of their Seatwork, they will also have a penmanship page stapled in here as their work. I have just preferred this as my method for taming all of the paperwork, because it seems to work really well for them to have a packet to keep up with, and I will show you how I keep up with that. But I just prefer it this way. I can have their whole packet together instead of all these loose pages. I don't want to have to mess with math, phonics, spelling, all of these different folders, any of that. And that's just my own personal preference. Everybody has their own way that they like to do things. I'm just offering you the way that I do it and showing you how that works in my classroom. Now, the first grade packets are very similar, but I will go ahead and show them to you because it is slightly different just because of the way that the first grade curriculum is set up. So here is how it works in the first grade packets. I still have 4 days worth of math, but then because first grade has a letters and sounds book and they have a language book, they will have 2 papers of letters and sounds, because lesson 17 is on one side, lesson 18 is on the other side. So this is still lesson 17, lesson 18, lesson 19, and lesson 20. And the same thing goes for the language. There is still lesson 17, lesson 18 on the back, lesson 19, lesson 20. And then still I have 2 tablet pages in here for them to write their spelling words and the other miscellaneous Seatwork that may come to them. So this is how I prefer to do it in my classroom. So what the kids will do is they will complete 1 day's worth each day. So if it's day 17 or lesson 17, however you want to word it, they will know that they look, in my room, I teach them to look for the lesson number at the bottom, not the page number. So you can see, let's see if I can adjust this. you can see down here at the bottom it says lesson 17, but it's page 33. I teach them to just ignore the page numbers and simply to look at the lesson numbers only. Okay? I hope that makes sense. But what they will do, so they will turn and they will say, oh, here's lesson 17 for math, and it says Seatwork. They do not do the classwork pages. That's the page that we do together in math class. And then they will flip through their packet and they will find letters and sounds, lesson 17, and they will complete that. Then they turn the page and they'll find language, lesson 17. Then they turn the page and they find their handwriting page when it comes time to have handwriting as Seatwork, and they know to do this. Now, I will tell you that this does take training. Okay, this is not something that I can hand my kids on the first day of school. It does help that I have the first and second graders together, and the second graders have already done this, and so they are able to kind of help and assist first graders if needed. But it is something that you do have to train your kids to do it. But I'm telling you, once you get it, it just runs like clockwork. They grab those packets and they get going, and it is nothing. So when my kiddos, they will keep this at their desk until I call for it, because I do my phonics in the morning, but then I do math in the afternoon. And so I don't want these packets until math is done. And usually I don't call for them until it is afternoon, after our very last recess has happened. So they will just simply either slide the packet inside their desk, or they will put it on the corner of their desk, whichever works for them. Some of my kiddos complete this very quickly. Other kids take all day long to do it. It just kind of depends, and we know the kids are all very different in how they're going to complete this work. Once again, though, I do want to stress that even though this is 4 days worth, this is not something they do in one day. They know that if it is day 17 or lesson 17, they will only complete the ones marked lesson 17. In the very beginning of the year, another tip that I have tried with my first graders to help get them more comfortable with it is I will go through with a crayon or marker and I will simply circle the pages that they have to do. So the next thing that is in these folders are these little Seatwork papers. So these little Seatwork papers are what I call their to-do list. And this is simply taken out of the Abeka curriculum. I have taken all of the things that they either want you to write on the board, or they now have digital slides for that you can project. I have found, though, I have the digital slides and I had fully intended to use them, but since I have a split classroom, this was very difficult for me to do because I was using my board all the time. And so the kids that were needing the list on the board, I was trying to do something else, and they didn't have that list in front of them anymore. I also find that my classes that I've had in the past have had a particularly hard time looking down on their work and then looking up at the board and looking down and looking up, trying to see what they have to do and then try to copy that from the board to their paper. And so having it written right there that they just keep on their desk has really been a lifesaver for me. The requirements that I personally have them do is their math, one side of their math page, one side of their letters and sounds, one side of their language, one side of their writing, and their spelling words one time. So they complete those things. All the other things that if you're not quite familiar with it yet, it'll say WT, which just stands for writing tablet. And they just want them to practice their penmanship. Like this says, write each word 2 times. So they will write the word hill in cursive 2 times, bat 2 times. Then this one, write a row of each number, write your name 5 times, draw a picture of yourself. So these are just the things that Abeka wants them to have practice in. And a lot of it is simply things to keep them busy while you are doing reading groups. If you have any questions, ask them below. Thank you all so much. Have a great night. Bye-bye.